Hello, world of YouTube. So I'm kind of like dressed up all fancy, but it's because I am going to an award thing for my brother later tonight, and I kind of just like wearing makeup, so yeah. Um, and my clothing is kind of just my normal stuff. I'm not like dressed up or anything. So the last video I made, I was talking about how I'd signed up for classes at Flick, which is a community college near me, and they start up next week, but we have like this preview week where we're allowed to like figure out how the class works and see like how we need to like schedule our time or whatever. And so for one of them, I have to like read a chapter out of this big book of insanity about managing like stress, which should be cool. I mean, I need to try and like figure out how to sort of relieve my stress and like just figure out how to calm down sometimes. My other class is a running class, and so today I ran a mile, and like what I did was I would run 5 steps and then like sort of stop for a little bit and jog in place and then keep doing that. And then I ran like after doing that a few times, and then I like slowed down my running. So like I started with walking and then sort of picked up the pace, then ran 5 and stopped and ran in place. Then I started running again and then slowed it down back down to a walk. So I did that for a mile. And I couldn't really like run down the street because it's I didn't really want to end up like halfway to town and have it start raining because it's supposed to like thunderstorm this week. So I just ran in my yard and it worked for what I needed it to work for. I also have to do like I have to do 3 other runs that are 25 to 30 minutes. The run I did today was like 15 or something, so kind of nervous about running for half an hour. The half an hour ones though, my teacher said they could be walks. The mile has to be a run. So what I'm gonna do is I think I might walk for like half an hour and then see, because I've walked for like an hour before because that's how long it took to get to my friend's house. So yeah. And also my friend Mari's coming over today, and we're gonna watch some movies and she'll go to the awards thing with me. Then my brother has ball tomorrow, so I gotta like cut his hair. Yeah, and I know some people from my collab watch this channel, so I'm apologizing here for not making videos. I have been superbly busy, like insanity. It's been crazy. I've been trying to find a job, and I've applied to like 10 different places and no one's called me back, and I've called a few of them and like okay, I just want to know if you like got my application. I mean, it's unemployment. There's not a lot of places hiring just for summer, so it's really hard to like find a place that just like that needs seasonal help and doesn't mind like just being seasonal, because I know a lot of people are looking for like full time and like all year round because a bunch of people have like quit or gotten fired. Where I used to work, a lot of people quit and then they fired a bunch of people, and I'm like, okay, I feel bad for like quitting, but it just wasn't my thing. Like, I didn't feel comfortable there. Not because, like, the people, it was just because the environment was making me, like, feel really uncomfortable. So, yeah. Also, there were a bunch of, like, scheduling issues that kind of ticked me off a little bit, but, um, whatever. It's life, it's work. Can't always be right. So, since I'm on here and I've talked a little bit about art stuff before, I know I'm like jumping around, but it's because my brain does that sometimes. But since I talked about my art before, I wanted to share this idea that I'm trying to work with. So I found this picture of my parents from their wedding night, and they're like in the limo, and it's them like curled up next to each other in the car and like smiling and being like super happy. Um, and what I wanted to do is like take pictures where people are like smiling and like really, really happy. And, like it's a sort of like images of like, it's a great day, everyone's really excited. Um, and then make it so that there's like blood and scary shit like coming from like out of the image, so like people like crying, like tears of blood and darkness and stuff. I can't really explain it to make it seem like not cheesy, but the way that I see it in my head is like super cool and awesome. And I know for my print media assignment, what I did was like I wanted to put people in a situation that they didn't feel comfortable in. Like, oh, it's so nice, like it's nature. And then underneath it's like alone. Like, and then your mind like snaps and you're like, oh, this is like I am alone in a dark forest and like I hear noises and it's creepy. And just because like people don't really try and put themselves into a scary situation, they don't want to be there. And if you put someone in that situation, it kind of gets them to think a lot more than if you're just like, here you go, it's a happy bunny rabbit and some trees. Hope you enjoy. Like, my mom kind of wants me to do like landscape paintings, and I'm just like, I can't do that. Like, it's not who I am. And I told my mom, I was like, I have a painting you can put in the living room, and because she wanted like a landscape painting over the TV or something, and I was like, I have a painting you can put in the living room, and my dad's like, death on a canvas, and I was like, no, no. I did this painting of fish falling in love because I was doing like a test for like a character placement, because I do a lot of like illustration stuff. And so I have these like fish characters. They're like half whale, half fish, and their tails are like invisible and kind of like have shocks of color that go through them. So I drew this picture, and it was like these two bigger fish and like this baby, and the two were like falling in love, sort of like meeting for the first time, love at first sight. And sort of like the background is sort of like this sky water sort of thing, because they're not really like water animals. They live more like on land. It's weird. I'm not going to explain my characters to you. Um, but I've been working kind of with a lot of like humans who aren't really human and sort of have like an animalistic quality to them. I made this character, her name's Addie, and she's like this tribal princess, but you look at her and you're like, oh, that's so cool. And then, like, you look down and you're like, oh, she's an octopus. Um, she has, like, tentacles that come out of her, like, veins. So her veins are not veins, they're tentacles. So what happened was, like, she gets her arm severed off and, like, this tentacle grows out instead. And it's really awesome. But she lives in, like, sort of a safari type zone. And then I created these creatures. I don't really have a name for them yet, but they have like a normal head, but they're like half elf, half human, and instead of having like a normal human body, they instead like just grow limbs. So basically they have one limb that just like comes from their neck, so they have like a normal neck and then it just like has the limb. So the first one I drew was a hand, and then the second one I drew had like a foot as a body. um they're more guardians than like people. They don't really move around. They're just guardians. I mean, you can't really do much with just one limb for a body. Um but yeah, I've been working with a bunch of like creepy stuff and stuff that I enjoy, like illustration-y things. I've kind of just been working around with like a lot of art ideas in my head and I haven't really gotten around to them. I actually am starting to learn crochet, so I'm making like a blanket right now. And I mean, this is all I have done, so it's not going very fast. This is like 1/5 or something of what I have to do, and it sucks a lot. Um, Also, I told you guys that my friend was coming over today because I saw Austin's cousin yesterday, and it was horrifying. My parents wanted me to like go up and talk to him. Sorry for the camera shakiness. Like, um, but my parents wanted me to go out and talk to him because my brother was getting his tux for ball, and I was like, no, I'm totally not gonna go talk to him. And since he was sitting right there, he totally heard what we were saying, and so he like got up off the bench and like was trying to look to see who I was. It was awkward. So yeah. Um but meh, it's life. And I've been talking to James a lot. I mean, he's been super busy with school and things like that. So that's fun. And it's lunchtime, so I'ma eat some lunch, and I will be done with this video because 14 minutes long, and yeah. Love. Bye.